the main event. Now, this was... I'm not going to say it was emotional for me, because it wasn't. But it was for Derek Chisora, his last fight, the last dance in the UK. Over the years, he's rolled it back. He's beat some people that I thought he'd never have a chance with. And he's also got beat convincingly. Now, what I will say about Derek Chisora, and the one thing I always hold into, you know, a bit of good standing, is his performance against Usyk. But he definitely got the bad end of a poor judging scoring. 100%. He did better in that fight than they gave him. But anyway, it was his last fight in the UK. What a legend of the British boxing community, the sport. He comes out. Otto Wallin comes out to Thunderstruck by AC/DC, which, might I add, is a very good song to come out to. But you've got to give it the problem is that Otto Wallin was never going to get a 4-minute walkout. And that song, in my opinion, needs to be like, you need to have a bit of thunder before that. You need like an AJ entrance where your name comes up, your initials come up in flames. You're like, Thunderstruck, down, 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 down. But he's already in bloody ring. Like, come on. Give the lad a chance. Hotel California starts to play. The tune starts to play, and all of a sudden, you know it's Del Boy's time to shine. We get a Goldberg entrance from the back. We get to watch him come out. Gunman / Undertaker sort of look to him. Massive bandana, British bandana. Loves his heritage. He loves the UK, which has got a massive, massive amount of respect for. Without further ado, let's crack on into the last dance. So, round 1. Evidently, Otto Wallin comes in. He's stiff as anything. I thought, what are you? You're a southpaw. Move a little bit more. You know, be a bit more fluid. Now, I know we're big guys. Listen, I'm 6'4". I don't move like a gazelle. You know what I mean? I don't move like a ballerina. I know what Otto Wallin is going at. But your southpaw, make it awkward. You know, keep it round the centre of the ring. Try your best to just use your movement. You know, surely you've learned that. You don't just box from there and call it southpaw. Anyway, Chisora jumps on him well early. Just jumps on him, starts trying to hit him loads. But he keeps throwing this jab to the body, Chisora. And I don't know if it's from the Usyk fight, because he was throwing it then. He's only ever thrown it since that fight, I remember. Just going to him with a body, with a body, with a body. And I thought, Derek, we need to hit him in the face. Because you know what's going to happen is, in the later rounds, that overhand right, we're just going to set it up for it. That's all we're going to try and do. Set up for the overhand right. Bing, bang, bosh. Good night, Otto Wallin. But round 1, Chisora promised the fans, as he always does, pause on the pressure. And again, he's sort of leaving his sort of shoulder out a little bit as he's jabbing with his left. And he's like, I'm waiting to swing it over. But you've got to give the round to Chisora for the pressure. So 1-0 Chisora. Round 2 was really strange because Chisora comes out again with the jab to the body. And it was so obvious with the way Derek moves, which is like this. He was going to hit him, but Wallin just kept getting hit by it. You know, I just thought you can block that. And then Wallin does the stupidest thing of all. He backs up and just sits on the ropes. Like, mate, that's where Derek wants you. That's where Chisora wants you to stand so he can lump 7 bells of shit out here. What are you doing? I was so perplexed by this. I thought, you've not come in with a game plan. You know what Chisora is going to do. We've all watched Derek Chisora. Why are you letting him come in? Anyway, Chisora's footwork, I mean, do we even need to go on about it? He's square. He's squarer than anything. He just throws, doesn't he? Also, Wallin, though, not punching him down the pipe. Didn't even land one. Anyway, round 3, 2-0 Chisora. This is pretty much the story of the fight. The Chisora dip. If you're going to try and counter Chisora's dip, Wallin needs to throw a hook at it by this point, and he just doesn't. And he leaves it so late as well. He just leaves it really late, and that really confused me. So I was sort of like, bloody hell, what's going on here? But listen, we look at it. Wallin's coming in with the left when Chisora comes in close, but he was only hitting him with the left. He barely threw his right hand. Again, you're fighting Derek Chisora. He's looking to take your head off. Either move and jab or move and throw. Counter throw. Honestly, I was so frustrated. Then Wallin, I mean, we're in round 3, he clinches him. I'm like, is this what you plan on doing? Clinch him, take his energy, zap him early, zap Chisora early, even though Chisora's got like a Mustang tank where it's like a 12-litre diesel. You're never going to get him to stop. It's so strange, but Chisora lands the overhand right, and it gets the fans going. He lands the first one in round 3. So, you know, round 4 comes, and we see a famous face in the corner of Derek Chisora. No, not the trainer. The cutman, U6 cutman for the U6 Fury fight. What a guy he is. Would love to interview him on the channel one day, because I bet he has so many good stories. So shout out to you, Russ Abner. I cannot wait to meet you. Hopefully I get the chance to. But anyway, round 4, Chisora is Vaseline heavy. Like, Russ has done a good old job on him there. He's Vaseline heavy. His face is starting to get a bit swollen. Whatever Wallin was throwing, which was nothing, it was more the clinch, because when you saw them exchanging the clinch, they weren't really throwing punches. Chisora's trying to chin him, but Wallin's like moving his shoulder into his head a little bit, and you could see that. And I was like, ooh, Otto, that's not a bad tactic. Ooh, okay then, yeah, let's see where it takes you. You've been a bit dirty against Derek. Terrible in his last dance. Anyway, Wallin realises he's getting a bit of success from this, and he initiates another clinch. But Chisora, really, in this round, it was a bit of a layoff round. Chisora's body work, just in the clinch, just in the opening exchanges, was enough to win him the round, in my opinion. So we're going for round 5, 4-0 up. And then the commentary from BT. Now, I like Derek Chisora, like I've explained before, but they compared him to Roberto Duran. What are you on about? Like, the comms on this fight was so stupid. I was like, what on earth are they on about? Like, don't get me wrong, Roberto Duran, he fought, he had, you know, he got in big scraps. The only thing that could remotely relate to Chisora and Duran is the longevity of how long they were fighting, or how many fights he had. And Roberto Duran still tripled what Chisora's done. So I was like, this is daft. I just thought, what a daft thing to say. And I've written in my notes here, and I just thought, hopefully, someone explain to me in the comments below, what if anything, can you relate Roberto Duran and Derek Chisora together? What is there to relate? One man's from North London, 6'2", massive. One guy's like 5'5", one of the best fighters ever. Rough and ready, Mexico City, Guadalajara, like, you know, needle. What's the relation? Because there isn't one. That's what it is. There isn't one. So let's just stop that, BT. Let's just put that there. And I'm not even BT, sorry, TNT. Sorry, because that's your new name. Let's just hold that there. And that's not damaging my relationship with you. If you potentially want to work with me, let me know. Email below. But what are we going on about? Anyway, that really upset me, that, because I just thought, that's a legend of the sport. Chisora's a legend of the sport in his own right. But Duran is like up here. You know what I mean? Anyway, Chisora's coming into the clinch, and the corner team must have just told him, you know, Dimitri must have just told him, right uppercuts, straight through the middle, land on that massive chin, that big, dirty, you know, Viking chin. And he starts landing some massive shots. And again, pillow fist Wallin. Looks like he's barely hitting him. You know, it's just like everything's just a breeze to Chisora at this point. It's just like an easy round to score again. And then Chisora mixes it up and starts throwing a left hook, which, rather than just him using the jab, he's throwing the left hook. But he does leave that side of his face that was cut exposed. I'll get into that anyway. So anyway, we get into the 6th round. It's 5-0 Chisora. It's all going one way, just knock the bloody guy out. That's what I was thinking. But blood starting to fill in Chisora's eye. That could have been a worry. That's what I've noted down. And he's also been cut above and below. So it was like there and there as well. And I thought, bloody hell, that's going to look like, I don't know, but it's not going to look great in the morning. But Wallin, he's not planting enough. He's not planting his feet. So the shots that he is landing aren't causing enough damage to Chisora. So I was thinking to myself, plant your feet more if you're going to stand there, hit him, and he will retract back. But obviously not. Wallin was like, maybe I can move out of the way. No, because that's what he wants you to do. He wants to hug you in that corner and throw. Anyway, listen. Chisora again. This is where, obviously, like I mentioned, you see the cut. He's still jabbing from the same side. He's still jabbing with that protruding. Like, Wallin's target is right in front of him. Just stop him with that little crouch down he does. Just stop him with the jab. It was so easy. You can hit that right there. It's a massive target. Anyway, regardless, he didn't hit it. But again, in the sixth, probably about a minute and a half to maybe a minute left in the round, the ref stops, lets the neutral corner go and have up the docks, and they deem it okay to fight. Now, I looked at it, I was thinking, Jesus Christ, the skin, the flab around his eye is going to drop that if you let it go on for too long. But my other note here is that DC has to go orthodox because he was throwing from a southpaw stance, exposing the eye, which was always going to cause him trouble. And it was just like, it was reckless because he was winning the fight by a hell of a lot of rounds. He could have made this boring. But that's just not his style. That's why we love him in the UK. We love him. He's our guy. He's known worldwide for the entertaining fights. You know, he's always been in a barnstormer. And I've got to give you respect, Del Boy. Got to give you respect. Seventh round comes in. Wallin now seems to think, the corner must have said to him, you need to get in with this guy. You're letting him hit you, not giving us anything to instruct you on. And they did mention on the TNT broadcast that Arturo Gatti's former trainer was training Otto Wallin. So I thought, Gatti used to be in Barnstormers, so why are you not engaging? Obviously, because he thinks he's got a weak chin after fighting Joshua. But he does start to soak up quite a lot of the pressure quite well, Wallin, because Derek's getting, a bit tired. But Derek Chisora is trying to be fierce with the pressure at this point. He's very, very much trying to land everything he can on him. And then this is what Wallin should have done from round one. He starts to control the range. But then he clinches. He clinches again. And you're just thinking, for God's sake, you've still got 2 minutes left in the round. You've got to start winning rounds. But obviously not. So, and yeah, at the end of the seventh, he was nearly beheaded, I've put, by a DC right hook. But he did take it quite well, to be fair, though it was on the gloves. That was my note. That is what my note says. So we're going to the eighth. Listen, it's 7-0 to Derek Chisora. He'd have to punch himself at this point to lose the fight. He's always going to win it. It's a 12-rounder. You're 7 up. You've won the fight. Unless there's a few 10-8s, but there wasn't. So anyway, Chisora's starting to get visibly tired at this point. We're starting to think, crap, what we're going to do with it. It's not looking the best. He does keep trying to get close. The one thing that he kept trying to do was, though, before he engaged or tried to get within range of hitting Wallin, he'd throw a hook rather than settle with a jab. And I thought it was quite interesting because you're throwing a hook, whichever way you're throwing, you've only got one arm to defend whatever's coming back because that's got a lot longer to do and to go and travel than a straight as from Wallin. But Wallin, did he throw it? No, he didn't. There you go. But nothing coming back again. But the eye started to look nasty. And you know what? You have to say to Derek, like, your eye's starting to look like the inside of a jam sponge cake, mate. Vaseline and blood just does not mix. What on earth are you doing? Just putting your head there all the time. You're winning the fight. It was just, I just didn't understand why at the end of it. It was just a massive, ridiculous trade-off where they're fighting, and Chisora's finally got what he wants. He's like, let me land one. Wallin lands a couple. I'm thinking, stop it, Derek. You're going to lose the fight. But he didn't. So, the ninth comes in. We finish that round. Massive trade-off. Both of them look absolutely shagged on either side of the ring. And it didn't look great. Let's have it right. It didn't look great. But the ninth comes in. And then right on the Shirley temple, which no one sees except for if you look at the third angle of the replay, he gets a right hook from Chisora, which lands like a SpongeBob drop weight. It lands and it was like... And he just all went, whoa! And he moved him to the opposite side of the ring. It was a great knockdown. Straight away. And then Chisora starts jumping on him, doesn't he? Like he always does. And then Wallin clinches and then the ref splits it. Like I said, he had a tough job, the ref, on this one. But Nothing again coming back of note from Wallin. It was so just boring. I just thought, you mate, come on, you're getting beat. Let's have you. Let's have it. You know what I mean? Let's just have it now. Nothing come back. And again, I've written down here, that eye is looking horrible. It looked disgusting. Like, Russ Abner had to do a great job. And do you know what? He probably had the best in the biz. You know what I mean? Bar, God, what's he called? God, what's he called? He used to do all the UFCs. Oh, let me know in the comments, the cut man, the famous cut man. He's always in films now, but he used to do a lot of fighters for the UFC. Oh, his name's so obvious as well. Let me know. Comment down below. Again, at the end of the round, Chisora's luring him in. He's luring Wallin in, trying to capitalise. So he's like, this is like coming at the corner, and he's there, like, come on, Wallin. I've not got this here. I've not got this right here for you. Yeah, I do, mate. But so we get to the 10th. It's 9-0 at this point to Chisora. Just see it out. Championship rounds. See it out. Yeah, I did write down that Chisora's clearly made cardio a huge aspect of his camp, because for the amount of pressure that he was trying to apply and for what he'd already done previously in the previous rounds, should I say, the cardio was still there. He was still moving forward, and he kept doing that little sort of thing where you like to just bounce off your feet, get a bit more fluid, and then move again. It was all very orchestrated around his cardio, I believe, anyway, because the power's always there. Why'd you have to work on power with Derek Chisora? Look at him. Look at the size of him. Anyway, the comms on this fight in the 10th round, and I made a note, the 10th round, they said it was a boxing masterclass. Who are they kidding? Who are they kidding? What on earth are you on about? A boxing masterclass from Chisora. Look at his eye. Wallin's not landed or punched or thrown anything. What on earth are they talking about? It was a Chisora heavy performance. Yeah, it was one of his better performances. But his eye looks like I said, a squash jam sponge cake. It's full of Vaseline and blood, and he can barely see because it was bloodshot as well. And you're telling me a boxing masterclass allows him to have that sort of reaction? Get a grip. Anyway, sorry again. But to be fair to Derek, he slips quite a lot of Wallin shots in this round, and Wallin's just too stiff to make the most of the stance that he's in. He just doesn't move enough. You know, Chisora kept trying to swap, trying to throw him off a little bit, but Wallin could easily hold that ring if he wanted to against Chisora. Don't get me wrong, the pressure's always going to come, so you're going to have a scrap in the middle, or you move around. But, you know, do what McMillan did the other round, or the other fight, sorry, you know, run around, get around it, you know. It's dead simple. But the 11th, it does look bad now. Derek Chisora's easily and evidently tired. He's knackered from throwing all that stuff. But now he's starting to attack in a few bursts, and he's starting to get a bit more successful with the bursts rather than just trying to land the single shots repeatedly. At this point, Wallin has no desire to throw down. He don't want to exchange with Derek Chisora. He's getting his pay either way. He's not asked. And the thing that I found out from Wallin was he's tough. He's a tough cookie. But he needs to use his feet and his movement more. And I know you're heavyweight, and I know you're big, and I know it's not about that. But look at Andy Ruiz against Joshua. You know, Andy Ruiz in general, the movement for that lad, you know, fat as anything. It's what won him a lot of fights. But if Wallin used his movement, he'd find a lot more of the gaps that he's looking for to try and stop Chisora. And that was my main thing from round 11. You could have done this all fight, but you're just soaking up Derek Chisora's punches. It's like you've almost just been paid to come and just stand there and throw a couple back. It was. I'm not suggesting that for the first instance, because Otto Wallin's got bigger nuts than me, but it did. You just expect to see a certain attitude from a fighter, and when you don't get it, it does disappoint. But the 12th, I mean, to be fair, I had to give Wallin the last 2 rounds because Chisora was knackered and his eye was hanging and he was trying to cover from that. But the 12th round, in we go, 9-2 up. Then we've got, what was I going to say? So yeah, we're 9-2 up in the 12th. for Chisora. He opens up to the body again, starts just hitting the body, thinking 3 minutes and I've got my thing done. Jabs repeatedly, scores points and wins rounds. Jab to the body, like I say, you know, jab's the best instrument in boxing. It wins you rounds, as Usyk showed Fury in the second match, the rematch. And Wallin was just hugging the ropes in the corner, allowing Derek Chisora to charge in and absolutely cane him with loads of overthrowing hands. So anyway, on the bell, the most dramatic thing happened. Wallin drops and Chisora wins it. Overview of it, what an absolute guy, what a guy, warrior in fact. You know, Frank Warren must be licking his chops at the possible thought of him going to Riyadh, having a mega fight with someone, and Masterclass was too strong. It was too strong of a statement from TNT on the comms, but it does remind me when, you know, Chisora fought Usyk, like I brought up before, where they were saying that he got robbed, Chisora, when he didn't. He did really well and no one expected that, so they waxed lyrical about his performance. And that's not taken away from Chisora, that's just over-exaggeration of the co-coms teams on these boxing events. So anyway, Derek Chisora for me, 10-2 win. 10-2, easy peasy. And then we're looking, well, I mean, he brought out all Skepta, Tiny Temper, Lethal Bizzle. He brought them all out and said, right, my 50th fight, we're going for it. Who do you want? Dubois, Joshua, or Usyk rematch? I think the cheers, Daniel Dubois got booed out the ring. They took the card after that. Joshua and Usyk got the biggest shouts. Who would I prefer? In fact, this is a question that's going out to end the video in a moment. Who would you guys like to see Chisora face in his, you know, final fight, the actual last dance? Yeah, Usyk or Joshua. Who have you got? My money, personally, I'd love to see him against Joshua. Give him Joshua, Wembley, in London, Riyadh season. Give him all the money he can. Sell him off to the sunset. Been a great ambassador for the sport of boxing. You know, always makes it entertaining on fight week, looking at all the press conferences and stuff. You know, he offers a hell of a lot to the sport, and I don't think the sport's been very fair to him, especially in his first 30 fights. So, Derek Chisora, this is a personal message from me to you. Thank you so much from the bottom of British boxing's hearts to say you've been an ambassador for the sport. You've been fantastic. You know, you're always in thrilling fights. You always just wanted to give the fans value for money, and that will never be taken away from you. You'll always be cherished, and I respect you so much. I hope I get to meet you one day, because you've literally given so much of your blood, sweat, and your tears to this sport, and you deserve to get a bit back. And I hope that the final fight, I hope you're rolling in money now, but I hope the final fight gives you that send-off and, you know, makes future generations of the Chisora family, you know, well off, safe, you know, secured. You know, just get that secured future, because that's what everyone deserves at the end of the day. That's what everyone wants. But yeah, thank you, Derek. Thank you very much. That ends the video today. Thank you so much for listening to our review on what was The Last Dance, Chisora's last fight in the UK, apparently. On British soil at the Corp Arena in Manchester. Again, the fans filled out for Derek. They love him. They do love him. The undercard, like I mentioned at the start, was a touch. It was a bit hit and miss, but there was a couple of good fights in there, especially Jack Rafferty and Jake Miller. However, you know, what have we got to look forward to this month? Next week, exact same place. We've got Artur versus Carroll. Jack Carroll being from, I'm pretty sure he's from either Leyland or Preston. It's like near me, or Chorley. It's one of them. It's like near me. So I'm obviously homegrown fighter. I actually am just going to try and get tickets to go and watch. But we'll wait and see. And then the biggie the week after. Better Be Ed versus Bivol 2. The rematch. Now, in the comments below, quick one for you. Who won the first one? That is a massive question that I still ask to this day to my friends and peers that like talking the sport of boxing, and it's still mixed. People still thought Bivol robbed that. But, you know, it's one of those things. Main things to take from here, you know, main things to take from this video is that Derek Chisora has offered us a great fight. It's a fight, a great main event. You know, just him lumping shades of shit out of people. It's fantastic. I always love watching him. DC versus AJ. Chisora, Joshua, booking at Wembley, summer 2025. Let's get it booked. Let's get it checked in. Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, you know what to do. Do it. Yeah. That's it. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Show me that this is worth doing because I enjoy talking. I just want to see if you think that I'm good enough for your time. But thank you very much. Peace out.